Hello, and welcome to Agile Cheetah. I'm Velazquez. I explain Agile and DevOps concepts so you can successfully apply them within your team or across your organization. If you want to improve how your organization develops software, manages software systems development, or fosters organizational agility, you've come to the right place. Sounds like what you're looking for? Then please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our future videos. In this video, I compare and contrast the work breakdown structure, or WBS, with Scrum's product backlog. These artifacts support the different ways traditional project management, or Waterfall, and Agile manage project scope. This understanding is crucial for those of you implementing Agile in organizations steeped in traditional project management cultures. If you're unfamiliar with the WBS and product backlog, I encourage you to view the videos linked above. I also provide links to them at the end of the video and in the video description. As a quick introduction for the uninitiated, I'll define the two artifacts. A WBS is a traditional project management planning tool that helps identify, document, and present the total scope of a project, as well as tie project scope to project resources and schedule. It decomposes project scope across a hierarchical tree of elements that represent 100% of planned work and deliverables for that element. Child elements collectively represent 100% of the scope represented by their parent. A product backlog is an ordered queue of deliverables. According to the Scrum Guide, the product backlog is an emergent ordered list of what is needed to improve the product. It is the single source of work undertaken by the Scrum team. In this definition, the product is whatever the Scrum team develops and delivers. It could be an application, system, solution, documentation, reports, etc. A product backlog is used to track product deliverables. Product backlog items represent deliverables or features. Scrum teams decompose bigger features into smaller ones to better manage their development. The most common product item types are epics and user stories. Of the 4 WBS types I discussed in the WBS video, the product breakdown structure, or PBS, is the most like the product backlog. Both are product scope focused and decompose larger deliverables into smaller ones. Neither a WBS or product backlog depict dependencies between elements or items. The main artifact used to show dependencies between work activities and deliverable milestones in traditional project management is the project schedule. User story maps help organize Scrum product backlog items, epics, and user stories based on workflow and interface dependencies. The main difference between WBS hierarchies and product backlogs is that the WBS is a tool for linking together project scope with schedule and level of effort or resources. A product backlog is strictly focused on tracking and ordering product scope. It is neither a repository for nor a source of work status information. Another difference is that tasks and activities count as part of the scope represented by a WBS. For example, project management tasks, meetings, and reporting. While Agile software teams also deal with management and project overhead, those activities are not included in the product backlog. From an Agile perspective, those activities are not part of the product. They are necessary yet ancillary activities to the work of developing, testing, and releasing software. Finally, product-oriented WBS elements represent components, while product backlog items represent features. Decomposing product scope into components versus features has 3 major disadvantages. The first disadvantage is postponing integration and testing. In traditional software projects, there is often nothing valuable to test and evaluate from a business or mission perspective until most or all components are integrated into a cohesive solution. In traditional software projects, system integration is done infrequently, often occurring only once towards the end of development. Integrating components towards the end of a project often affords insufficient time to address problems. The second disadvantage is the difficulty in measuring progress based on tracking completion of system components. Traditional project management focuses on tracking tasks and activities and their level of completion. For example, percentage complete. The rationale being that if everyone executes all necessary tasks and activities on time and in the right order, the project will proceed as planned. Therefore, project management's job is to identify everything that needs to be done before the start of the project and enforce adherence to the plan. The problem with applying this approach to software projects is that non-trivial software systems are significantly more complex than physical systems of comparable cost. This is because software systems can be deployed and modified in infinite ways. As software systems evolve to serve growing numbers of requirements from growing user bases, their complexity increases, sometimes at an exponential rate. No amount of predictive planning can overcome this natural slide towards greater complexity. There is also the issue of quantifying how much actual progress has been made. What is the difference between a component being 75% complete versus 95% complete? If we have to wait until it is 100% complete and integrated into the larger solution before we can test and validate it, there is none. Agile planning is adaptive with short project planning horizons. Software development teams achieve fast and frequent releases by keeping releases small. Planning and releasing this way allows for more opportunities to test and validate deliveries and to fold lessons learned into ongoing planning. Best of all, the measure of project progress is delivery of valuable capability to customers and end users rather than arbitrary estimates of completion rates. The third disadvantage is the way planning based on WBS decomposition creates component team silos. Each WBS element maps to a set of resources, one or more teams, that do the work. Establishing development teams for specific solution components often stifles cross-team collaboration and creates productivity bottlenecks. For example, project management forms a dedicated database team to deliver a system database identified as a WBS component. The result is that the team's allocated hours and skill set are segregated around delivering a single component. Often the inefficiencies of managing dependencies between component teams outweigh the efficiencies gained from component team specialization. Forming teams around system features is a staple of Agile software development. While component teams are sometimes necessary in Agile software development efforts, the default bias is towards forming feature teams. Under feature teams, system components form and evolve incrementally and iteratively, one feature at a time. Value delivery no longer depends on delivering the entire system. Instead, value delivery occurs one release at a time throughout development. Traditional project management uses the WBS to identify and maintain a predetermined amount of project scope. In Agile projects, scope floats. In other words, rather than attempting to predict the entire scope of the project up front, Agile projects continually manage scope based on lessons learned throughout development and release, as well as customer and end user feedback. Agile scope management depends on ongoing planning and collaboration between development teams, project sponsors, stakeholders, customers, and end users. That's it for this video. Leave a comment and share your thoughts. Want to learn more? Head to the Agile Cheetah website at agilecheetah.com for in-depth research articles on all things Agile and DevOps. You can also follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. Again, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, please click on the like icon, subscribe to the channel, and click on the bell notification icon to ensure you won't miss anything. Thank you. Until next time, this has been Frank Velazquez with Agile Cheetah.